you describe this, and I think correctly, as a kind of a thriller, as a kind of a whodunit. And we open the book. No, the body is already cold. We know who's dead here. And so the question is, who done it? So tell us, who done it? What went wrong with Better Place, and who was responsible?
That is a question that everybody has been asking. It may in fact be the reason why you're even in this room today, because you want to know who done it, who killed or what killed Better Place. And the answer is everyone and no one. So let me explain what that means. People said, was it the CEO? Was it the chairman of the board? Was it the Israeli government that didn't support the company enough, although that can be debated? Was it Renault that priced the car too high and didn't support the battery switching infrastructure that Better Place wanted? There are many different questions. Was the car too expensive? Did the company raise too much money? Did the company not raise enough money? Many, many questions. And the answer is that everyone is right. Every one of those things led to the company's demise. And no one person was responsible. The CEO will tell you that the chairman of the board was the one who didn't believe in him. And the chairman will say the CEO didn't spend the money correctly. But what really happened is what I found in the course of writing the book is that it was a case of changing business assumptions. So in business, you start usually by writing a business plan, a business and marketing plan, and you have to write down what you assume things will be, how much the car will cost, how much it will cost for service, how much money you'll spend a month on staff and offices. And that's normal. You do that. But when things change, you adjust the business plan. So in Better Place's case, everything started to change. At one point, the car was promised at a low price, $10,000, but the car came in at $35,000, and customers didn't like that. At one point, it was assumed that the car could get 180 kilometers between charges, but the car got 120, maybe 140 on a good day if you're not using the air conditioning or the heat or the windshield wipers or not going up too many hills. And if you have a car that only goes 120 kilometers, but you've built the switching stations at a distance where they're maybe 140 to 160 kilometers apart, you get a problem, for example, like this. We wanted to drive to Eilat from our house here in Jerusalem. The distance between the switching station at the Dead Sea, at the top of the Dead Sea, and the southern end of the Dead Sea was 160 kilometers. We couldn't get more than 140 kilometers. We couldn't drive that way. Now, I said this once to the director of customer service at Better Place. I said, what are you going to do about this? And he said, it's not such a big problem, you'll go by way of Beersheba. And that is actually one of the problems with not just Better Place, but electric cars in general, which is that people in the electric car industries are always saying, you can do okay with this. Okay, so you have to stop your car every 100 kilometers, 200 kilometers, in Tesla's case, every 400 kilometers, and charge it for 30 to 45 minutes. It's okay. You can deal with that. But that is not what consumers want. Consumers, when they're trading for a new technology, electric cars, they want it to be as good or better than the car that they had, the gasoline-powered car. They want to be able to charge it, in 5 minutes, anywhere, and be able to go 300-400 miles or kilometers, on a single charge, like they can with a tank of gas. So this put people off the car as well. And then there were other issues that changed. They thought that the switching stations would cost $500,000 to build. They cost $3 million a piece to build. They thought it would cost $100, $150 to install a charge spot in your home. But they didn't account for the fact that they would have to send, not one person, but two, and they might have to come back a second time, and there might be legal work that you have to deal with the Vada Bayit, the house committee. It wound up costing 10 times that, $1,000 per installation. And when you add all these things together, all these changes, Better Place was faced with a situation where they were actually losing money on every car they sold. And what does that mean? It means that it doesn't matter if you have more money or more time. Every car you sell, you lose more money. So at this point, the company needed to decide what to do. Either stay the course, double down on the dogma of switchable batteries and it'll work out and we'll raise more money and technology will get better, etc., or pivot. And that's a very common thing that happens in business. You say, you know what? The business plan that we started with in 2008, it doesn't work anymore, we're going to change. I think, after having spoken to a lot of people, that Better Place could have survived if it had pivoted, if it had changed, and I can talk about what that would have meant, but that's not what it did. It stayed with the business model from 2008, despite the changes in the business assumptions, and it just ran out of money. And that is the less glamorous, but still interesting in the book story.